If you're gunning for a top score on the IELTS, you've probably heard that vocabulary is king. But what if I told you it's not about memorizing a dictionary? It's about being smart. We've dug into over 100 real essays from students who scored bands 7, 8, and 9 to figure out what really separates a good vocabulary from a great one. So let's dive in. Okay, take a quick look at these words. Do they look familiar? Maybe a little too familiar? If words like people, good, and government are the workhorses of your essays, you might be holding yourself back without even realizing it. But hey, don't worry, that's exactly what we're here to fix. All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the common word trap. Then, I'll reveal the #1 rule for using synonyms that changes everything. We'll level up some key vocabulary, expose a huge mistake that can kill your score, and then wrap it all up with an action plan you can start using today. So, what's the big deal with these simple words anyway? It's not that they're bad, it's the repetition. Just imagine you're the examiner. You're reading an essay that says government 3 times in the same paragraph. It instantly makes the writing feel flat and signals, hey, this person's vocabulary is pretty limited. It can make even the strongest argument sound, well, a little basic. And hey, this isn't just a random guess. We literally analyzed over 100 essays from students who absolutely crushed the writing section. And you know what we found? The people getting the highest scores weren't using impossibly complicated words. Nope, they were masters of precision and variety. Which brings us to the very heart of this explainer, synonyms. It seems simple, right? Just swap one word for another. But there's a right way to do it, and a way that can actually hurt your score. A lot. And here it is. This is the golden rule. The one thing you need to remember: context is king. You have to stop thinking of synonyms as simple replacements. Think of them as more precise tools in your toolbox. The goal isn't just to find a different word, it's to find the perfect word for that exact spot. This right here is the crucial mindset shift. The bad habit is just blindly swapping words from a list you memorized. The good habit, the one that gets you those high scores, is making a strategic choice. It's the difference between telling an examiner, I know this word, and showing them I understand this word. Okay, enough theory. Let's put this into practice. We're going to start with some of the most overused words we found in essays on social topics and see how we can give them a serious upgrade. First up, the word government. Oh man, this one is central to so many essay topics, from education to the environment. And because of that, it's incredibly easy to just repeat it over and over and over again, unless you've got some better options in your back pocket. So let's look at the subtle differences here. The authorities is great when you're talking about the people in power, the ones making decisions. But the state, that refers to the entire governing system of a country. If your argument is about a national policy, using the state just shows a way deeper level of understanding. All right, next on the list, the word children. Topics about education, family, and social issues are everywhere in the IELTS. And if you're only relying on this one word, your writing can start to feel a little one-dimensional. And this slide perfectly shows our context is king rule in action. You've got different tools for different jobs, right? The youth is a nice, broad term. Minors is a formal, legal word. But toddlers and teenagers are super specific. Choosing the wrong one here doesn't just sound a little off, it can totally wreck your point. And we'll see exactly how in just a second. Now, let's switch gears and level up the words we use to actually build our arguments. The right verb or adjective can take a pretty good point and make it a really powerful one, which is absolutely crucial for task 2. Let's take a super common word like improve. It's a fine word, nothing wrong with it, but it kind of lacks punch, you know? When you're proposing solutions to big, complex problems, you need something with a little more oomph. Now check out these alternatives. You enhance the student's learning experience, you're making something that's already good even better. But you ameliorate poverty, you're making a bad situation less severe. Ameliorate is a fantastic, high-level word. See that difference? That precision is what gets you the top marks. Okay, but here's where we need to be really, really careful. Because using advanced vocabulary can feel like a shortcut to a high score, but when it goes wrong, it goes spectacularly wrong. Using a complex word incorrectly is so much worse than using a simple word correctly. This quote right here says it all. If your essay is about teenagers using social media and you swap in the word toddlers just to avoid repeating teenagers, you haven't shown off your vocabulary. You've shown that you completely misunderstand the words you're using. And to an examiner, that can be a fatal flaw. And here's another trap. Let's say you use that great word ameliorate, but you misspell it. To an examiner, that is a huge red flag. It just screams, I memorized this word from a list, but I don't really know how to use it. Trust me, they would much rather see a simple word spelled right than a fancy one used wrong. So how do we get this right? How do we build a vocabulary that's both broad and, most importantly, accurate? It really all comes down to a simple, repeatable process. Here is your 3-step plan. First, become a detective. Look at your old practice essays and find your personal crutch words. Second, when you learn a new word, go beyond the definition. Look up example sentences. Really understand its world. And third, and this is so important, slow down. Don't try to cram 50 new words into one essay. Just pick 1 or 2 and focus on using them perfectly. Quality over quantity, every single time. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question. What's your go-to word? The one you write without even thinking about it. Identifying it is the very first step to replacing it with something more precise, more powerful, and way more likely to get you that top score you're working for.